Hello and good afternoon or good day, whatever works for you, wherever you are in the world. So, my name is Nicola and welcome to the studio. So, we did a full moon meditation recently, which said goodbye to the yoga yardigans, which we've been doing, and hello to our studio indoor space, which is in the earth. So this is our news. So I just want to share with everybody in my local community, this is the new schedule. So starting with a few home care. So basically, now that we're open, it would have been the 1st of October, however, the weather did not agree with us, and I kind of sensed that that was going to be an issue. So I was up to about 6:30 in the morning, so I did a nice 24/7 day, getting the place ready. So even though I wasn't aware it was going to rain, so I guess intuitively I must have realised that. So we officially opened on the 1st of October. However, we did have a small class on the 30th of October because we had to come inside as it started to rain. So that was obviously meant to be. So some protocol regarding the studio to go in coincide with the current times, because I'm noticing that I want to pull back from social networking, so I'm not using Messenger as much to communicate with the community. I don't really prefer text as a form of communication, and I'm noticing also other people as they go through these changing times actually want to connect. And isn't that beautiful? Because you know what? There's been many, many moons where I have wished that we could go back to the old times and actually call each other, telephone, ear to earpiece and mouth to mouthpiece. Anyway, so just to go over that, so I am pulling back from Messenger. The groups are available for the yoga community. If you're already in my yoga community, you would have been added to that, and if you are very, very new, I will get round to that shortly. So sat in deer pose, my nice graceful spirit. I would like to also share that I do have white vinegar mixed with water, which I was using for hand sanitizer because I do not use chemicals. I don't use them on my body, and I don't expect you to use alcohol, etc. as a hand sanitizer unless that's your preference, and you can bring that with you if that's your preference. So I will have white vinegar at the top of the stairs as you come into the studio, so that if you wish, you can use the spray to clean your hands as you come into this space. Second thing is I do also have a wrist thermometer which will be mounted at the top of the stairs, so there's a no touch, and then you can just scan your wrist, which is a safer format than the third eye or pituitary gland scanning, which is happening in several different locations throughout the world, I guess. So I did do the research, as my intuition told me that that wasn't safe, and I did not feel comfortable having that done to myself, so I kind of pulled back, and I wanted to do the extra research. Having been a nurse previously, it just didn't work for me, and I wasn't comfortable with it. So anyway, I did the research, and I found an article in a newspaper in Oman, written by a doctor, not written by a journalist, written by a doctor, and that's who I will listen to. So he suggested that the scanners that scan in the middle of the brow, he wouldn't recommend using them on a regular basis as much as some locations are doing. So I just wanted to share that with you and share with my local community that, because that just doesn't feel comfortable to me. So anyway, moving on. If you are sick, please stay at home. If you look like you're sick, I might ask you a question and take you to one side, not to embarrass you. However, if you look sick, then I may suggest that you go home. So I will be keeping an eye on that, because obviously this is a very small community and I don't want to spread contagion. So even if you have a cold and it's just a regular flu, it's not COVID, please stay at home, because we don't want the bugs in the studio. What else do I need to cover? So we do have, depending on what class we are holding, we do have space for between 6 to 8, maximum 9, including me, in the studio. That includes doing social distancing. Depending on the class type, so for instance, if we're in seated meditation or we're in lying down meditation, it's going to change that dynamic, so just so you're aware of that. And as the studio has now been blessed with the full moon meditation, I do have notes because there's a lot to cover. It is now considered a sacred space, as we did the ritual for the full moon on the 1st of October. We set our releasing intentions, and we then wrote down what we wanted to release. We set fire to those thoughts after going through the talking stick, sharing the talking stick in the circle. And again, what's shared in the circle stays in the circle, that is confidential. And then we all went upstairs, went out to the backyard, said goodbye to the backyard by touching the healing willow tree of the moon, and we closed the backyard. So there will be no further classes in the backyard. They are now inside. It does take a lot of work to keep backwards and forwards in all the time. So now that everything is inside, it just becomes that little bit easier for me, especially that there is additional cleaning to do after every practice. So the other thing I want to mention is that I will be purchasing more blocks if I don't have them already by the time you come to class next time. So everyone will have their own blocks, their own strap, and their own blanket inside a clear plastic bag, which is made of vinyl, so it's all washable. Now, when you've finished your class, what I ask you to do is, if your blocks, blankets, strap, whatever needs washing, leave it on the mat, just like you would when you go to a hotel room. If it doesn't need washing, then leave it off the mat to the left side, so the female side, yin side. Other than that, that's pretty straightforward. When we come into the studio, we walk in mindfully, and there are reminders on the steps as you come down. So that's pretty straightforward. What else do I need to cover? So the other thing that I've changed too is the class times have been extended. So instead of the full hour, you're getting an hour and 10, well, I'm going to say an hour and 11 minutes, because 111, we do like the numerology. And if that doesn't speak to you, that's okay too. It's just my silliness. Okay, so when you come into class, for those of you that aren't used to meditation, and for those that are, to begin classes and to get you used to that space, I will be playing one of my YouTube yoga videos in a very short meditation. Now, meditation can be moving or it can be in stillness. So if I am moving in one of those classes and you wish to stay still, or yoga is a choice. I will never tell you what to do, I will suggest. And that is also follows trauma-informed yoga, because it's all about choice. What else do we need to cover here? I think that's pretty much that. Now there will be a spray bottle and paper towels because the mats will be placed in certain locations so that, and that's the studio mats will be placed in certain locations so that you are distanced. So I would suggest that if you're bringing your own mat, your bag with your name on will be on that particular mat. So all you need to do is look for your name, and that will be where you practice that day. So it keeps it organized. So you're welcome to lay your own mat on there so you get a double thickness as well, so it helps for any knee poses. So that's a plus. And then when I pick up the blankets, blocks, etc. at the end of the class, obviously being a nurse, I'm pretty sanitary. So I would sanitize my hands first before then removing your equipment for cleaning or removing it back to the hanging space. So as it is a small studio and following protocol in other studios as well that I work in, you will be asked to leave one at a time. So your name will be called to leave the sacred space. And also we do have another moon meditation, which it will be a community class. So when I say community class, that means it's free for our community in Caledon. So that's that. Now I am back doing the 33 days of yoga. For those of you that aren't aware or are new to the community, the 33 days of yoga, which I called the Rock and Rose Rocktober series, which is my second series of the 30 plus days of yoga, started on the 1st of October. So with the beginning of this full moon. And funnily enough, when I recorded that, I wasn't even aware that it was a full moon. So it was a meditation that was releasing anxiety and tension, etc. So synchronization. Let me see. So there's certain steps that are in place to feel safe around class times. So just so you know, the class times, for instance, on a Monday have changed from 6 o'clock to 5:45 p.m. So that gives you time to come into the studio, find your mat, and ground out in a meditative practice before you start the class movements or asanas. So once it hits on the hour, so at 6 o'clock, for the intention of safety, security and sanctuary, the door will be locked. So if anyone turns up after that first 15 minutes, you won't be able to enter the space. And it also is respect to your fellow participants. So again, that's another reason why the class times have been extended, so you can give yourself that space. And also it allows you to go into Shavasana, and then when I lock the door and come down, we can start our movements. Class times and schedule, as I said before, have been amended, and the updates will be posted on the website shortly, so please bear with me. It has been a very extremely busy couple of weeks, all being said. So Mondays, 5:45 start time, ends at 6:55. Tuesdays I have privates and the massage service. So I do the Indian head massage, also called Sham massage. I do the reflexology, and I am also a Reiki master, so I can teach Reiki. Or I call it spirit energy. So then on Wednesday we have the 6:45 class, and that ends at 7:55. Following on from that, both of those classes on a Monday and Wednesday are more of a dynamic class. So for those of you that want to get core work, a little bit of fitness, and you want to feel energized, you want to feel release from any discomfort in your body, that's the class for you. So then the second class on a Wednesday evening starts at 8:15. So please be aware, on a Wednesday when you leave at 7:55, there is another class 20 minutes after you. So I think 20 minutes is sufficient time to allow for you to exit and the other people to come in. So, and being mindful that they also are allowed 10 to 15 minutes to ground and start meditation for their practice. So I'd appreciate your cooperation with that. So repeating that, Wednesday 6:45 to 7:55 is the first class. So that's the dynamic flow. The second class is a yin yang class. So that's from 8:15 to 9:25. Then Thursdays we used to have chair yoga. However, my participants in this class are now ready for a yin style practice, or yin yang practice. So yin meaning female energy and yang meaning male energy. So obviously slow and then more strength building. So that's Thursdays 10:15 till 11:25. So again, that particular class time has been extended, because it used to be 45 minutes, so now it's an hour and 10 minutes, because I believe that you're ready. And then on Fridays I have my studio class. So I'm not in this studio, I'm in another studio in the Caledon area. That also goes for Thursday evenings too. I'm also in a different studio. And then Fridays I have my massage service, again the reflexology, the Indian head massage and Reiki, which naturally comes out of my body in a massage anyway. So that's kind of gets given as part of the deal, in all honesty, because it happens. And then Saturday mornings is our morning fellow. So we have 2 mornings and 3 evenings right now. That starts at 9:15 and ends at 10:25. So that's on a Saturday morning. I think that's pretty much it. So anyway, I wanted to connect with you via video, because as I'm feeling and sensing that most people in these busy times really don't have time to read through long messenger posts, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have time to write really long messenger posts right now, as my schedule is getting that bit busier. So anyway, I just wanted to check in with you. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope to see you again soon in the studio. Please take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.